Okay, so, everyone, all right, let's get back. We got about 30 minutes left to discuss strategy. So, I discussed so far corporate strategy. And we said that the corporate strategy, you have growth, then you have stability, and you have renewal. Stability is everything's okay, and you just keep going the way you've been going. With renewal strategy, you usually have some little difficulties, maybe a little problem, maybe things are not going well, and you're trying to make some minor changes. So, a renewal strategy is the strategy of making little, necessary, maybe sometimes big, necessary changes when the business is not doing very well. So, these are the corporate strategies. Now we have a completely different set of strategies called competitive strategy. And competitive strategy is a strategy for how the business will compete against other businesses. So, you compete against other businesses. And you have two fundamental strategies there, and maybe a third one. The one fundamental strategy is called cost leadership. And cost leadership is the academic way of saying cheap. Okay? So cost leadership means whatever products you're producing, you're able to produce at a lower cost. And therefore, able to possibly lower the price and have a competitive price. So one strategy is to have a good price, competitive price, low price, based on low cost. That's the one way to do it. The other way to do it is based on product differentiation. In a product differentiation, your product is different from the product of competitors, and the customers see your product as different. So some people may say, oh, Honda is so much better than Yamaha, or so much better than Suzuki, or BMW is better or different than Mercedes, or iPhone is also different from, I don't know, maybe Galaxy. So your strategy should be you keep the cost as low as possible and either maintain a high profit margin, or you have a very highly competitive price, being able to reduce the price. Or you provide a totally different product. Now, the strategy which I gave you in the previous lecture was you offer a health restaurant so that you provide healthy food for, let's say, healthy Westerners, health-conscious Westerners. Well, that's an example of a product differentiation strategy. You have 1,000 restaurants, okay? And maybe 100 of them offer seafood, not very different from each other. Maybe 50 of them offer Indian food, again, not very different from each other. Maybe 500 offering Thai food, not too different from each other, okay? So what you need to do in that particular case is you either have your restaurant to be real fancy, so the restaurant environment is different, or you have something else, the food is a little different. Maybe you got only 3 Japanese restaurants, okay? Or say, the only Japanese restaurant in town, okay? That's a product differentiation. So somehow differentiation means your product is a little different, or a lot different from the others. When everybody had a regular mobile phone, the first product differentiation based on technology and innovation was the iPhone. It was very different. Okay, you got a touch screen, you got a nicer operating system, you got a whole bunch of other things doing with the mobile. So early on it was product differentiation. But the problem with product differentiation is that the competition catches up. If you open a nice health food restaurant and your restaurant is full and making big profits, soon competitors will say, oh, they're making so much profit, okay? We're gonna open a health food restaurant, okay? This approach to business is called imitation. Imitation is you see what others do, and if they do it successfully, you do the same thing. That's exactly what Samsung did and Samsung Galaxy did. They took the iPhone, they took the product, they did pretty much the same thing, okay? Change a few things, but it's fundamentally the same ideas, the same functionalities and everything. And then they made it a little bigger. So the first product differentiation that they did was in the Galaxy Note. Make it much wider and much bigger. Much more comfortable for web browsing. Much more comfortable for reading documents. If you're students, much more comfortable to open the PowerPoint in a landscape format, and then you can use your phone for PowerPoint, and it's very nice, very clear, crisp. And the crisp part is called in mobile phones, well, in imaging is called high resolution. So they offer bigger screen at much higher resolution, and it's so much easier and clearer to read. It's better to run, let's say, PowerPoint on a Galaxy than run it on iPhone. This is the explanation of imitate or imitation strategy. You do like the competitor and then try to do a little better. Okay? And if you're trying to differentiate yourself, you have to always think that the competition will soon come. Maybe next year, maybe 5 years down the road, and they will do the same thing. Here's another example. I've seen it here. We've had it in my home country. You get this, it's called a fish tank, okay? It's a tank where you put a lot of fish, you put in your legs inside, and they eat a little bit from your legs, right? A little bit, just the skin, the dead skin, the raw skin. And it's like a cleaning process, okay? You got a lot of this here now? No, not Marimeda? Well, in my home country in Bulgaria, one year, in a big resort like yours over here, a big resort, they had only 2 or 3 places like this. And these guys made, in terms of local money, millions, okay? They could easily make 10, 20, 30,000 US dollars a month. It was a big business, big profit. People were lined up and waiting for this particular service. So what happened was, next year, a lot of people decided, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to become millionaires, okay? So it turned out that there were a few hundred people offering the same business. And when a few hundred opened the same business, so last year there were 3. Now, in a resort, there are 300. They're just everywhere. Turns out that the imitation not only made the first guys lose money, but everybody else losing money on this investment, okay? They all thought it's going to be too profitable, but it's a tourist season. The season for us in Europe, in Eastern Europe, runs from May till October, okay? So October closes, everybody goes home, or they go to the winter resorts for ski, okay? And then they all come in May. And when they open in May with the fish tank and, counting to make big profits, okay? They'll be buying apartments and luxury cars and all the great things they've been dreaming about. Turns out they're losing money because there are 300 people doing the same thing. And that's the imitation strategy, okay? So, number one, you have to be, two fundamental strategies is you gotta have a lower cost, okay? This is the low cost strategy. The other one is the imitation strategy. Low cost strategy is based on efficiency. You somehow do things a little better, a little cheaper. Somehow, you're more efficient. The differentiation is you do it as something little differently than all the others do, okay? So, my differentiation strategy is how I'm different from all the others. Yeah, all other professors wave their hands, but I got a camera. That's a little different from all the others, right? You got 30 professors here, maybe 300, okay? But I'm the only one using the camera, okay? That's a clear differentiation strategy, okay? I'm different from all the others in terms of the camera, all right? So that's an example of a differentiation strategy. And there's another one which is called a focus strategy. Let me try and find and read about the focus strategy. But the focus strategies is basically you focus on a very, very narrow range. You focus on one particular tiny little segment. That was the early idea of Apple with the iPhone. Well, they created the smartphone industry. And the focus was smartphones. They did not make any other phones, okay? On the other hand, Samsung's got a broad. They got from the most basic and the cheapest phone to the most sophisticated smartphone. So with a focus strategy, you focus on one particular segment and stick with it. The focus strategy of BMW would be luxury. They want the basic luxury. They want the standard businessman, the standard mid-level manager, even entry-level manager, 30-year-old to buy BMW. They provide a very, very, very high quality and in a nice luxury package you get to love in a matter of days, okay, or in a matter of hours, or just by looking at it, okay? So, focus strategy is you just choose a particular narrow, small segment and work on it, okay? The focus strategy I gave you, it's also focus strategy is the health. It's the health market. You have a healthy restaurant. On the one hand, again, it is a differentiation. But on the other, it's a very, very narrow market segment. It's called the niche market segment, okay? Which is very good. So focus on it. Okay, let's see what else we got. Okay, what are the typical strategic weapons? So, what are the typical strategic weapons that managers have? And I've found a few of them. Number one is customer service, especially for restaurants, especially for hotels. In other words, for the hospitality and tourism, customer service is extremely important. It is one of the better ways to, again, differentiate yourself, to be better. Customer service, number one. Number two, employee skills. I just discussed it, the previous one, where you just don't open a massage parlor and hire just 10 girls anybody, all right? You train them. You make sure that they're really good. You advertise your business. Everyone is trained 3 months. Everyone is licensed. Everyone has special skills, okay? Well, for professors, you gotta have it. For doctors, you gotta have it. But you should have it for practically anywhere, for any kind of business. So, number one is customer service. Number two is employee skills. Number three is employee loyalty. Employee loyalty is if they love the business, they stay with the business, and they're ready and willing to sacrifice for the business. So employee loyalty is very important, okay? Otherwise, the employees, they just leave, okay? And when you leave, you gotta get a new one, you gotta hire them, you gotta get them a work permit, you gotta train them, they gotta learn. You know, it's not a good, profitable business to keep employees leaving and hiring. You want to keep them staying. It's called low turnover. Low turnover means very few employees leaving, and therefore you need few employees to hire. High turnover means they come, they stay a few months, they're gone, you gotta hire again. High turnover usually means problems, usually means something's not good, something's not right, means you need to change your business strategy. So, customer service, employee skills, loyalty. The next one is innovation. You need some form of innovation. Innovation in a restaurant could be a new design, a new decoration. It could be a new music. Innovation means you somehow are innovative in your business. It could be a new music, okay? It could be a new meal, okay? A new special meal. For example, you offer Korean food, okay? That's an innovation, okay? It's also part of differentiation, okay? And the last piece, which is always important for any business, for any product, for any service, is quality. Quality. I can add one more, which is, for some products, not all of them, reliability. If you're buying a car, you want it to be reliable, okay? If you buy a tablet, you want it to be reliable. If you buy a mobile phone, you want it to be reliable. If you buy a camera with which you record, you want it to be. So if you're buying technology, machine, equipment, TV, refrigerator, oven. So if you buy a product, reliability is another very important characteristic. Now, when we say quality, reliability is part of the quality of the product. But quality is not only for a product, quality is also for service too. Okay? For example, I bought me, and I'm very happy with my Seiko watch. Okay? It's got a sapphire glass, no scratch, nothing. Okay? It's gold plated. 3 years. It stays exactly the same color, just the way I buy. Okay? It's not any different. It cost a few $100s, maybe 300 US dollars. Okay? 300 US dollars, about 10,000 baht. Okay? It's not very cheap, it's not very expensive, but it's extremely high. I've never had it, didn't never stop. It's 1 second per month. I mean, it's amazing quality. 3 years later, it's just outstanding piece of equipment. Okay, so it's an example of quality. Quality for a textbook will be nice paper, nice formatting, nice pictures. You get to use it. Nice, of course, contents. Okay, so that you can use it year after year after year, and you're happy with it. Okay. So these are some of the fundamental strategic weapons. You improve the service, you improve the quality, you improve the employees, their skills, and so on. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, some fundamental stuff before we leave. That section 5.3 on page 139 is how do managers develop goals and plans, okay? And first of all, goals go in two major types, or two major categories. One category is called financial goals, and the other one is strategic. All I was talking so far is strategic plans, strategic goals. The other one is financial. And financial goals refer or relate to profits, to finance. It's all about profits. So all of your goals you divide in two categories. One is profits and one everything else is in strategy. So financial, strategic. That's it. Businesses will have stated goals. They basically tell the government and investors and what they want to do. And they have implicit goals. And implicit goals is what they are really doing. So goals are stated, meaning official. Our goals are this, this, and this, to provide a good environment, to provide this and all the other great things. And then they're the real goals, the things that they actually do. This is what they do, not what they say. A lot of times, businesses are just like politicians. They say one thing and they do another. That's the job of a politician. We call it lying. Okay? Politicians lie. You don't expect a politician to tell the truth, do you? Also, when a politician goes and makes a lot of promises, nobody's expecting the politician to keep his word, right? I mean, they don't do that, okay? I mean, they just, politician's job is to make an empty promise. Same thing in business. Businessmen often make big statements, big goals, big profits, which they don't mean, they don't intend, they don't want to keep, they don't care about, okay? They care about a nice vacation they're going to get, they care about the luxury car they're going to get, they care about the big salary they're going to collect, okay? And maybe a big bonus at the end of the year. They don't really care about the company and other things. So you gotta be careful what businessmen say and what they actually do, because most often they're just like politicians. So we call these stated goals, and then you have real goals. Real goals is the goals they actually chase. The goals they actually, this is what they actually do as opposed to say. Okay. You got a number of different ways to set goals. And the most common one is the top-down approach. We say we increase profits by 10%, okay? If we're going to increase profits by 10%, the next step we say we increase revenue by 5%, we cut costs by 5%, and profits go by 10%. The next step is we increase revenues by 5%. You specify how. We're going to increase the product sales of iPads or iPhones or, I don't know, MacBooks, okay? This is the Apple product. So you specify which product you will increase sales. Then you specify for which product you're going to cut the cost by 5%, okay? So a top-down approach is you decide what you want to do, and then you decide how you're going to do by product, how you're going to do by service, okay? And then you say top management decides this, and then you give the goal to the middle management. And the middle management provides and divides the goal to the low-level management. And low-level management divides the goal to the regular employees. So you state the goal at the top and then you spread it down to everybody else. And at the low-level employee, the goal will be you walk at 12:30 when the class finishes, and you shut down the AC for 1 hour. That's going to be a simple cost-saving strategy that does not hurt anybody, does not hurt business. It's not the same as shutting down the lights at 10 o'clock that are lighting the campus, okay? And it's not the same when kids are playing basketball at 9 o'clock, you shut down the light of the basketball court, okay? That's terrible. You don't want to shut, down electricity to save a little bit of money when students are playing basketball, okay? You don't want to do that. You want to shut it down between 12:30 and 1:30 when we know there are no classes. All right, so the top-down strategy will ultimately tell, I don't know, the janitor or the cleaning lady or someone from the personnel here to walk in every class and turn off the AC, and that's going to save, I don't know, 0.5% of all costs, okay? So that's the top-down approach. And there's another one, which is called management by objectives. And it's, again, a process of setting mutually agreed upon goals and using those goals to evaluate performance. So, manager comes with everyone underneath and say, okay guys, we need to set our goals here, okay? So, someone, let's say product manager for iPhone says, okay guys, we need to cut the cost of iPhone by 5%. And he calls everybody, the whole team, and say, I want you to give me proposals of how we cut the cost. And they say, well, we can change the touch screen, okay? Or we can put a cheaper camera. Or we can change the aluminum cover with a plastic, the aluminum case with a plastic case. Plastic is much cheaper, but aluminum is much, much higher quality, okay? So everyone is coming with different ideas about how to, or we can leave the old processor, which is going to be cheaper, okay? Or we're not going to increase the RAM, the memory, all right? So everyone's coming with different ideas about how to do this. And that's one way to do it. Basically, the idea is you call everybody and say, hey guys, this is what we're trying to do. Give me ideas on how to do this, how to lower cost. In a university, the simplest strategy to cut costs is increase the classroom size. 30 students is optimal. Well, 35 is a little bit too much, but we can handle it. Well, just make it 40, no big deal. Well, just make it 45, it's okay. Well, if you're already 45 or 50, you might as well make it 55, right? And if we're 55, we might as well make it 60, right? Soon enough, we're going to be running classrooms that are 70 or 100, okay? Well, what about Europe? They've done this a long time ago, and when I was a student, first year student, we got economics. We don't have little groups. We got a big, huge auditorium. 250 students in there, okay? 250. All you need is a little bit more discipline. But 250 students, and I got one in the same class. We don't have to repeat. 60 students here, 60 students there, and then 60 students. You might as well have 180 students, or 200, or 250 students, okay? In a university in Bulgaria, you got a big auditorium with 300 students, okay? That's the way to do it cheap, okay? That's the real cheap way. You save on the professor's time, effort, and everything else, okay? And then you have exercises, and if it's 300 students, you make 10 groups of 30 students each, and each group is served by a teaching assistant, okay? With just another student, it's a PhD, a graduate student. So that's a way to cut costs. So basically, you use different strategies. In this management by objectives, you call your team and say, this is what we're trying to do. You guys tell me and let's figure out what's the plan, okay? You tell me what's the plan for next semester. Okay. And we're finishing in 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, with well-written goals. So, when you have goals, you need to know what's a good goal and what's a bad goal. So, what makes business goals good? And you got a number of things. First, it is written in terms of outcome, in terms of results. You don't just say something, you say, our goal is increase revenue by 3%. It's very clear. It is based on outcome. It's based on results, okay? So it has to be results-based, okay? You want to have something which you can see, which you can measure. So number 1 is results. Number 2 is measurable. The textbook says quantifiable, okay? You want to have something which you can measure. Cost cutting. The cost of iPhone is, I don't know, maybe $200. They sell it for $5. So if it's $200, they say the new cost should be $190. And you can actually measure the new goal. We want to cut the cost by $10 US, okay? And they say, well, we were able to cut it by 8, or by 7, or by 9, or by 12, okay? So the goal's got to be based on results. It has to be quantifiable. Number 3, it has to be clear as to time frame. We want to cut costs of 5% in 1 year, okay? You just don't say 5%. Is it 5% in a month? In 3 months? In 3 years? So, a goal's got to have specific time frame, okay? Don't just say goals. Oh, the biggest university in town, or the biggest, university. Well, you got to say that the biggest in 2 years. So goals have time. Next one is challenging. The goal's got to be relatively challenging. It's very easy to grow the business by 0.5%. It's more challenging to grow it by 8 or 10. But, so the goal's got to be, on the one hand, a little bit challenging, pushing people. But it's got to be also realistic. You can't just say, we're going to grow the business by 20%, profits by 20%. That's totally unrealistic. Could be for some products, okay, for some businesses, especially mature business. For example, you have a hospital. How are you going to realistically increase revenue by 20%? You can't. I mean, it depends on how sick people get, okay? It depends on a lot of things. It doesn't depend on you, okay? But it's a realistic growth to say, we're going to grow the hospital 20% in 5 years. And we grow by 4% a year. 4% is not too much. It could be achieved. It's realistic, okay? So goals got to be realistic. And another requirement is very simple. Goal has to be written. You just write it down and you tell everybody what's the goal, okay? You tell everybody what's the goal. So it's got to be written and published. And that's the last one. The goal must be communicated. Everybody in the organization knows what's the goal and understands the goal. All right? So let me repeat again. It has to be in terms of results. It has to be quantifiable. It needs a time frame. It has to be challenging but realistic. It has to be written. And it has to be properly communicated. Okay? Is this good enough? Ready to finish? Okay, finish.